Sony is faced with an almost $2 billion lawsuit, which claims that Sony is...
Another fat lawsuit? Oh, this is different than the $400 million lawsuit? Sony is in full panic mode. We're getting got on the monopolies. These plans already happened like 10 years ago.
Over the last week, since PlayStation decided to drop their bombshell announcement back on July the 1st that they would no longer be supporting physical media come the start of 2028, saying that they've had a rough go of it would be quite the understatement. From the now over 175 million views this post received to the 105,000 comments, as Paul Tassi of Forbes puts it, the disc decision Sony made is its biggest
I think this could
scandal
kill
in
Sony.
20.
Like, the whole reason consoles are consoles is because you play games on them via DVD or inserting the game. That's how I think of it. So at this point, it's like, is Sony going to come up with a computer? My gaming PC, the one you guys are watching right now on this screen, I went on Black Friday into Best Buy and bought a $700 computer that I can do everything I can do with a console, but you can also go on the internet and do all these other things. You can also download all your other streaming platforms. Be honest. When this happens, for all my PlayStation users, why would you not just get a computer?
These comments are scathing, ranging from Domino's Pizza saying it makes about as much sense as us changing to digital pizzas, to a comment calling out Sony for selling digital games for the same price as physical copies. More on that in just a bit, which is one of the major concerns with Sony making this all-digital push. However, what may have caught Sony by surprise is just how intense the pushback would become. And so,
well, yeah, you brainwashed your audience, dude. Hard Pass Sony is coming out with a new system that will be twice as much. Bro, if people buy the new PlayStation and it's like $1,000, I cannot help you with your finances.
The comments to this tweet say it all. F Sony spelled out with digital cases. Roses are red, violets are blue. Not buying digital, Sony. F you. And here's another one simply saying no disc, no buy. But what?
I'm sorry, we have to run a poll. Which would you buy? $800 PC? $800 PlayStation 6. To me, this is the level of brainwashing Call of Duty has over like remaking the same shit. They're trying to take that same thing into game consoles right now. So we have 103 votes saying the $800 PC. We have 4 people saying the PlayStation 6. Everybody who said PlayStation, can you just give me like a reason why? Outside of you just liking PlayStation and it's your hobby. Because I have a lot of games. You're not going to be able to play those games anymore. You have to buy the digital versions anyways. You might as well start now and save money.
Absolutely amazing here is just how much Sony gets hit with backlash now for anything. I mean,
how did they not expect the backlash?
How badly they get ratioed in the process. For instance, here's the July PlayStation Plus monthly games post with 7,900 likes to 23,000.
Digital purchases are licenses, not ownership. Sony can revoke access. Dude, you know that Nissan Altima that you own? If Nissan doesn't like you, they'll just come and repo your car, even though you paid for it. We're about to enter a world of owning nothing, and people think we're already there. Imagine owning something and them just going, no, you got to buy it again, because we need more money.
Saying that digital purchases are licenses, not ownership, and
that's crazy.
Sony can revoke access. Even a retweet.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. It's all just licensing. It needs to be ownership. When you buy an Xbox CD, you owned a copy of the game. Long story short, the industry was like, well, shit, they own it now. We got to make a new game. Shut up, Siri! No! I'm talking to you! Sorry, guys. Siri's being a bitch. You owned it. Nobody could come into your house and take that game from you.
Rolling through PlayStation's Twitter feed, if you're Sony, it can't be giving you a sense of confidence right now. GTA 6, a massive upcoming release coming to PS5, slapped with a community note. Palworld 1.0 is now live on PS5. 5,700 comments, with many of them hitting Sony with the familiar memes and questions about a disc. Even a retweet.
Bro, imagine the new GTA 6 drops. Bro, that's how they're going to you. You're going to want to play GTA 6 so bad, but then they're going to get rid of all the physical discs after you already bought it, and then they're going to be like, oh, you know, your license was revoked or some shit. We're going to bring back pirating,
2,600 up. This push to all digital is Sony's biggest scandal in 20 years, and fans of physical media and games preservation are letting them know about it every step
NJP with the videos,
and the pushback doesn't show any signs of slowing down or stopping. In fact, this battle has every indication that it is something that players are not willing to give an inch on. But
yeah, you'll own nothing and be happy.
They don't seem to care. They seem to be oblivious to the community notes and all the backlash.
Oh, yeah.
However, what Sony does pay attention to is its real customers, its shareholders, who are focused on making money. And when gamers started hitting Sony and the only place they care about, their bank accounts, that's when we started to see Sony panic and do something that they rarely do, offer up discounts.
I wonder how much Sony's in the hole, chat.
As Sony tried to ride out the storm following their disastrous all-digital announcement, the community began focusing their efforts, organizing a Save Physical Games petition on change.org.
I'm so autistic I can barely. They now wait for this storm to pass. PS5 owners are canceling PlayStation Plus subscriptions to protest Sony killing discs, but analysts say it won't make any difference. Y'all underestimate your own power, guys. It will. They can just ride it out longer than you because you're impatient and they have money to wait. And a lot of you just don't commit. You guys complain, you don't act. There's a difference. And companies are aware of that. It's like protesting in the street. Yeah, we hear you, but we know you're still going to go home at the end of the day.
This all-digital announcement, the community began focusing their efforts, organizing a Save Physical Games petition on change.org, which is now approaching 300,000 signatures, along with
got to make the
amounts of
conversion at
players
some point.
canceling
Sony knows they're
their
going to get left
PlayStation
behind, but they're
Plus
just going to keep
subscription.
fucking you guys up.
And this is when we started to see Sony do anything they could to keep those customers a part of their PlayStation ecosystem. As
Exclusives? What do you mean exclusives?
Says here, PS Plus discounts being offered to fans canceling in protest.
Yeah, and see,
Players
half of
started
y'all are going to
receiving
fall for that.
50%.
But it's only 3 months, and then you're back to paying the $240, dumbass.
Some players outright refused that offer. Some couldn't pass on it, calling it too good to say no to, while others received varied discounts. Posts have been popping up saying that they were offered 25% to come back out.
What is $7 a month? Oh, in case you guys are wondering, PlayStation Plus Premium. Boop, 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 boop. Bro, garbage. Yeah, you guys got to pay money for online? You're crazy. It is free with PC.
Their cancellation. Others say they saw 30%. But Sony is clearly going to do whatever they can to keep customers spending money in their ecosystem. That said, what we are seeing with the varying discounts clearly points to a practice Sony engages in, dynamic pricing. Now, to be fair, lots of companies actually engage in this process, with Sony actually not disclosing this system publicly, which analysts believe they've had deployed somewhere since November 2025. But for many players, based on your region and your spending habits, Sony's system will scrub your buying history and then dynamically price their games and services.
Bro, see, this is because people are having less and less money. They're adjusting to inflation, and y'all are getting fucked. Yeah, you got to pay to be online. Like, bro, get you a PC, man.
And Latin America. More recently, the report shows that personalized discounts are being offered up during sales, with some potential players being offered discounts ranging anywhere.
Oh, y'all are talking about exclusives in the sense of, like, you won't be able to play the game unless you have access. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like Spider-Man and all that stuff. Well, guess what? I wanted to play the Spider-Man game. I have a PC. I couldn't get it. Guess what? Tough shit, bro. Who gives a f***? It's one game.
And 17.6%, depending on the game, the user, and their purchase price, with the games being offered up coming from both.
Yeah,
Sony's
you can get pirated games on
first-party
PC too,
game
so that
studios,
holds
along
nothing
with
over me.
Games from the likes of 2K and Bethesda.
You can use a controller though. Guys, you can use this controller on PC.
Again, is the dynamic pricing system unique to Sony? No. But that doesn't make it any less scummy. So much so that we've seen politicians and legal action be levied against Sony in recent days. Brazilian federal deputy Erica Hilton has requested an investigation into Sony Interactive Entertainment and its plan for a purely digital landscape. Another federal deputy, Jandira Fagali, recently proposed a new bill directly inspired by the Stop Killing Games movement, saying that publishers must clearly inform customers about a game's reliance on online servers at the point of sale. Furthermore, they must also...
See, y'all are winning. It's a light dip. Sony's only $20 a share is kind of crazy. Oh, well, COVID's effects are wearing off now. That's why.
Now, where this bill gets a bit more interesting is in its options, suggesting 3 options for when an online game is shut down. First, a company can release an update to allow for offline play. Second, provide tools to the community to keep it going themselves. And finally, Sony can reimburse players proportionally based on how much time they've spent with the game.
Company can release an update to allow offline play, provide tools to the community to keep it going themselves, or reimburse players proportionally. They're not going to reimburse y'all at all. They've already spent that money.
But Brazil is not the only one working towards new regulations against Sony, as we just recently saw
we got whole countries on this shit.
File a $457 million lawsuit on behalf of 1.7 million Dutch PlayStation users.
Sony now faces a huge lawsuit over $400 million as fans are left outraged. Bro, they might just take a L on it and pay that out, bro.
Listen to this. Sony's 30% PlayStation Store commission will inflate game prices once physical alternatives disappear. And
yeah, they're going to inflate
Sony's
prices.
Push to go all
when
digital
your game was
really
worth $30 on the hard disk, it's going to be worth $60 digitally.
Right now, you have the option as a consumer to purchase your games from multiple platforms. Epic Game Store, Steam, Amazon, and physical retailers, with the option to even pick up pre-owned copies, often with the prices at these
what's
locations
your guys'
outside
bro, just stick with Steam, dude. God, I hate installers, man. I won't even buy half of like the Epic game. If it requires it being bought half of the time outside of Steam, this is just me. I basically just won't even get the game. There are very few games I'll do it for. Like, I'll probably do it for GTA 6.
PlayStation Store offering huge discounts when compared to Sony. For example, here's Dragon Ball Sparking Zero for PS5, purchased new through Amazon for $29.99. That same game on PlayStation's digital store went for $69.99.
I literally just said that. So, and then this is what I'm saying. They're just monopolizing everybody. They're like, you can't play the physical disc anymore. And now you're going to have to buy it double the price or an inflated rate.
Gadget review article, there are even more extreme examples to be found, going on to say that during a recent Amazon sale, Lost Soul Aside sold for $9.99 on disc. The PlayStation Store's sale price for the same game at the same time was $39.59.
See, that was the best part about having ownership of something, dude. Like, people could play their games to their heart's desire, and then they could sell it so they could buy a new game, and people could get a used game at an affordable price and still enjoy it.
Which is 4 times more for the digital file versus the physical.
4
and
times
the pattern continues. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, $25 on physical versus $42 on digital. That's a 40 to 45% premium.
Like, both sides can get. The reason NBA 2K24 went from $30 to $80 is because you get more features on the download. Bro, you literally only give us extra skins. Shut the fuck up.
For that digital download. NBA 2K24, listen to this one. $29.99 found on a store shelf, $79.99.
They know you're a bunch of like COD type people, so you'll buy the same shit.
And in Australia, physical copies commonly fall below $40 AUD 3 years after launch, while digital prices hold it between 60 to 70 AUD. And that's what this $457 million Dutch lawsuit is actually arguing. You see, when the alternatives are removed from the equation.
The fact you can't resell digital games is also a huge issue. No, that's exactly what they're trying to do. That you can't do that. You can sell a physical one.
According to a statement made by the chair of this Dutch lawsuit firm, Sony's decision to discontinue the production of physical discs, quote, removes the
because
last
it costs
place
them so
where
much
a
more
PlayStation
money.
game can still be
Distribution,
bought
like
and
you can just
sold
download
at a
it
competitive
instead.
price. No discs means no secondhand market and no alternative to the
they don't
PlayStation
see
Store.
they're doing this because they don't like the fact that you can then sell your game for $10 and they're not getting a cut. That bugs a $123 billion company, but that's also why they're a $123 billion company. But I used to be diehard for Xbox, right? But then I remember seeing FaZe Banks, a clip of FaZe Banks on the street talking to some dude with a camera. He's like, guys, listen, the whole PC versus console just doesn't make sense anymore. Get your PC. And he made all these great points. And I'm like, well, this dude does it for a career and he knows what the fuck he's talking about. And not one of his points didn't hit. So I was like, you got to get off a console. Console has to die. Evolution, bro.
From 2028, Sony alone decides what a game costs and even how long you're allowed to own it. And
What?
look no further from what Sony recently did by deleting 551 movies and TV shows consumers had bought and paid for on the PlayStation Store because their contract with Studio Canal had run out. And so
you have to get reimbursed for that. No refunds offered. I don't know why you guys would stand by Sony if they're doing something like this. Like, if you love Sony products, you just love getting fucked over. I like the cameras, but I'm talking about in the sense of like PlayStation.
they just deleted the movies with no hint of financial compensation for those purchases.
So you can just get your
This
shit
is
revoked.
Sony's and media's dystopian future. You will own nothing, and you're going to be happy about it, at least if these companies get their way. One thing has been made painfully clear over the past weeks, if not months, and that being the old
Bro,
version
this
of
is
Sony
gonna
that
be
was
y'all when they say,
seemingly
"Hey, you can't own
consumer-friendly
GT6 anymore. You got to buy it again." Ah!
friendly and run by names like Shuhei Yoshida and Sean Layden. Yeah, that group is long gone. The new PlayStation is looking to be far leaner and to maximize profits over anything, and it's apparent that Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holst are willing to go to war with gamers over prices and their ability to own what they've already bought and paid for.
You get your shit revoked like that with any digital game. Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, the physical stuff is way better, but it's not here anymore. Just find one place and stick to it.
Publishers are sitting out there like Ubisoft, and they're just rubbing their hands together and licking their chops. Because if you remember, it was a Ubisoft executive who said back in 2024 that we as gamers needed to get comfortable not owning our games.
What the fuck are you talking about?
More expensive games with no extras that are offered up in physical editions with expiring licenses and only offered in a singular storefront is exactly what some of these
Bro, that's the
publishers are
craziest.
looking to push
That's
for,
actually a
unless
crazy
game
fucking comment. Get comfortable to not owning your stuff. So from now on, when you're in Steam, when you're in PlayStation, it should just say rent for a year for $6.99, pretty much. Yeah, get comfortable with piracy again, dude.
But that's
seriously.
just my take on it, and here's where I turn to you for your feedback. How do you feel about Sony's all-digital future, or the digital future of gaming as a
Dog
whole?
ass.
Drop a comment, and let's get a healthy discussion going. If you happen to like the video, please hit
That's wild. That's bullshit. If I'm being super honest, that's so bullshit.
Sony PlayStation has opened the floodgates. Everyone is angry. Games and physical media are now at major risks, and this is permeating through AAA gaming and then some. It's a mess. Let's get into it. So Christopher Dring, a journalist from thegamebusiness.com, said it here. PlayStation is currently facing multiple class action lawsuits over accusations that the PlayStation Store is a monopoly.
It is, dumbass. But everybody's aware of that. So, like, do something different.
I wouldn't even call it accusations at this point.
How do I say
quite
please switch
literally
react?
is a
Email it.
monopoly because nobody can reasonably challenge them. These lawsuits are all happening around the same time that Sony announced that they are officially sunsetting physical media when it comes to their business, as you already know.
Bro,
One of
hey,
these
yo,
lawsuits
who's
is
going to
WCCF
transition from
texted it here
Sony
in
to Xbox?
California and the UK,
Who's gonna
and
do it?
also the Netherlands. Sony is faced with an almost $2 billion lawsuit, which claims that Sony is
Another fat lawsuit? Oh, this is different than the $400 million lawsuit? Oh my God, the whole world's coming for Sony. Actually, dude, honestly though, you gotta get
part of the lawsuit is trying to do, and you may be asking, well, why do that? Well, you see, in the Netherlands, approximately 80% of households there that do play video games in that country actually play exclusively on PlayStation. Because of Sony
80% of the
having a monopoly
Netherlands
on
plays
their
on
platform, which
PlayStation?
obviously they control, Sony then takes a 30%
Y'all are
commission
video
fee
game
with
cucks,
every
dude.
purchase.
Y'all are video game cucking.
What matters is that Sony uses that dominance to shut out every other seller. A digital PlayStation game can't be bought anywhere except the PlayStation Store, so there is simply no external pressure on the price. Once you're locked into Sony's digital ecosystem, you're at the mercy of whatever price and terms Sony sets now and in the future. So you had people on Twitter, for example, defending Sony and their practices, like this user here who said, who cares if Sony delists games? If you've already played it, why would you want to play it again?
Are you stupid? Some people are just so dumb. When your phone battery dies, I'm going to come into your house and take your phone. Why would you care? You already used it until the battery's out. But I can recharge my phone and use it. You can also replay the fucking game, dumbass. You can't beat Tactical Assault VR. You can't beat operator. You can't beat half the games I play.
In the future anyways. That's a wild take, a stupid one, but
Very
that's
dumb.
what they said. You had actually another content creator named Technically T, also who said this in response to Sony and the whole physical media thing going on. Here's what he said. I personally don't care that there aren't going to be any more physical discs for PlayStation. I haven't bought a hard copy game in 10 years. I play the game, enjoy it, and that's it. I never understand the outrage.
Personally don't care that there are going to be any more physical discs for PlayStation. That is not the point, my bro. Also, let's be real. They just said he's a creator. He can afford it. Bro, I can afford it, but I know what is wrong and incorrect in his bullshit. I haven't bought a hard copy in 10 years. That's great for you, dude. Hey, how about they revoke all the games you've bought over the last 10 years on your digital ones? It's the same concept.